Welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at a couple of strategies for mining resources from Twitter. Now, the first and most simple is simply to follow different users that are providing material that you find useful. So as you're involved in the network and you notice that someone is posting things that you like, you can simply follow them, and that's going to appear in your feed right here. And you can just check it daily or hourly or weekly or whatever you want to do. Skim through there and you may find some good resources there. Now, to find people to follow, certainly you can use your own personal network. Someone who's involved in this may recommend someone else, and once you get started, that happens frequently. But I can also come to this Who to Follow section. Now, this is making suggestions, and from the look of the suggestions, this account really doesn't know me very well yet. But if I go to View All, I will get this search box, and I can search specifically for a person to follow if I know their full name or username. But I can also search for a topic. Let's just try EdTech and see what comes up. Oh, now you can see that I'm already following this particular account. But as I scroll down, I may find other accounts. And let me go back for a second and try a different search there for education. There we go. Okay, again, you can see that I'm following several of these right now. I happen to know Edutopia is a great site. They have really good articles, and it's worth keeping up with them. So I can simply follow them. And now I'm following, and they will become part of my feed. Now, if I decide that something I've picked previously is not particularly useful to me, then that's easy. I just come into the same area and I unfollow. So it's a little toggle switch, as quick as clicking it and clicking it again to change your mind. Now, there are additional options in here. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but you could tweet directly to this account. You could add or remove it from lists. You could block it. You turn off retweets, etc. So there are different options if you started using it that you can look into. But basically, that's one way of finding people to have steadily in your stream. Oh, and look at that. My first Edutopia post has arrived in my stream. And you can see my National Geographic, Edutopia again, and those things are currently feeding into my stream. Another way to search would simply be to use Twitter search feature. So if I come up here and I type in education, I'm going to get anything with the word education in the text, and it's rather broad. So one of the better ways to search, if you can determine a good hashtag that people might be using, or perhaps you've read a tweet and you like the content, take note of the hashtags. You can use them to search and sometimes find similar things. So if I change that to hashtag education, you'll notice that it's here. Okay, and there are other hashtags in there. Now, EdTech is an extremely popular tag, as is EdChat. EdChat may be the most common if you're looking to find educational resources. So we're going to try that. EdChat and maybe grade 1. Notice there are no spaces in hashtags, so I would not use grade space 1, or it's going to search for the hashtag grade and 1 within the text. So jam it all together if you're using a hashtag. And then you can start to filter through your results to see if there's anything of interest to you. This appears to be a GIF, so it's just going to repeat. It's a very short thing. This seems to be something that Mr. Cowan is sharing that might be related more to his particular class or his parents, etc. What I would really like to see is some things where resources are being shared. Here's a video. The link is up here, and I can preview it down in this section if I like. That'll look like a site word list, but I can access it directly from YouTube by clicking here, or I can right-click and open it in a new tab. Now that's just an image that went with the post, so that's probably not something, unless I just love the image, it's probably not something that's going to be for me. Oh, this appears to be a link to an article on social and emotional learning. Notice the hashtag social development. So I would have found this had I searched for just EdChat and social development, or probably just social development. And if I click on that, it opens in a new tab, and it looks like it's coming from a site called Mindshift, or I'm sorry, KQED News. And this is the type of thing that if I like this resource, I may decide to revisit this site and see if this is something that's going to provide me good information on an ongoing basis. Also, if I happen to notice that Miss Nicole is just giving me all sorts of good things, if I click on the upper part, I can choose to follow her directly. So if I decide that this is a really connected teacher who's got a lot of good things going on that relate or support what I'm doing, then I'll just follow her there. So I think you get the idea. There's a little bit of work. Now, EdChat in grade 1 was not particularly specific. If I was interested in digital citizenship, that's a more specific topic. Well, not grade related. And you can see now that I'm getting tweets on that. Middle school digital citizenship. What students need to know and why. Okay, and there's another article from the Global Digital Citizen Foundation. So let me click on that. I'm just poking around a little bit. And I can go through this site and see if this is a good source, if this is maybe something I've been tasked to do, is to develop a curriculum or to help integrate a curriculum into a digital citizenship component into my own curriculum. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for resources, and Twitter is one good way to get them. Now finally, another method of using Twitter would be simply to join a discussion in process. And there are quite a number of Twitter conversations that go on at specific times. So there are groups that organize themselves around particular topics and around particular hashtags, and if you are involved in a discussion at that time, you'll see it live, and if not, there are places to go to find archived discussions. So one website I want to show you is something called participate.com. You will, of course, have to sign in. You'll have to register, but it's a free account. And go to the Chats tab when you get there. Then explore Participate Chats, and there is a wide list. These are some suggestions for chats right now. You could even add your own here if you were organizing a group to do so. And this is a calendar that shows you when it's going, when things are going to be going on. So you can search for these. Let me search for digital citizenship again. And as I start digital citizenship, and it's going to do its best to match me up with chats that involve that subject. Now look, on October 5th, there's one for teaching and learning in complex global and digital networked world. Okay, we're committed to... Okay, so this sounds like something that I might want to be a part of. and there are various other suggestions. You're going to have to read the descriptions to see if they really are attuned or are aligned with what you're looking for. You can join that, even though this is saying it's going to take place on October 5th at 7 p.m. and November 2nd at 7 p.m. So that's when the action's going to happen. But you could join now. It's going to ask you to sign in to Twitter in order to do that. I've already done that. So you can authorize the app, and that will help you participate. So here's a screen that you can return to, and you can, so here's discussion that's been going on to this point, and as before, there may be links to resources in here. And you would expect this to really come to life at the time the chat is actually occurring. Okay. Something else you can do with your chats is it's going to archive past chats. So these are, organized by date. But if I were to come into the September 7th chat, and you can see that there are a number of messages, retweets, etc., you can go to the transcript. So if it's not something you want to participate in live, you can get a recreation or a transcript or an archive of the chat and go through at your leisure to see if you can find anything particularly useful for you. Okay, so lots of different ways to use Twitter. If this is something you are interested in, you can choose this as your project for the week, the other option being a project involving Pinterest. And I'm really interested in getting some feedback and seeing how you like this platform as an educational resource.